Hello everybody. So today is a week from my breast explant surgery. Super excited. Nervous, but I'm very excited. I've been really working on just kind of envisioning how I want this whole process to go and what optimally that looks like for me. But with being a week out, I really wanted to share kind of how I found out that the implants were kind of part of my health struggle. So I have been probably for about 2 years now really been struggling with health issues, fatigue. I do have hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, and what I'll say is prior to 2 years ago, I've been pretty much on steady medication. I go to the doctor, twice a year, 3 times a year to have my levels checked, and everything's good. I've been blessed enough to have not met my insurance deductible. Just kind of continued carrying on. I did have moments, days and stuff where I was more tired, but generally speaking, I felt great. I was in the gym 4 days a week. I lost 140 pounds. I ate clean. And when I say clean, like clean for me, like what I choose, no dairy, no gluten, things like that. So about 2 years ago, like I said, I really it started with this fatigue. And when I say this fatigue like this, sorry, that's driving me crazy. This fatigue, like, the only way I know how to describe it, the way I've described it to people is feeling like you're going to die fatigue. Like sitting down on the chair, on the couch, and just feeling like you could just melt into it, but scared to go to sleep because you feel like you might die. So that was kind of what started me trying to figure out what was going on. Then I started having random chest pain that sent me to the emergency room once or twice to figure out what was going on. By this time, I wasn't working out anymore because I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without stopping to hold onto the rail and just pause a minute. My limbs felt so heavy. Shortness of breath, random shortness of breath. Now I have asthma. I've had asthma since I was a teenager, so I can tell you what lung restriction feels like, and I could tell for sure that this was a structural, structural restriction and not a lung restriction. I could really feel that. I could feel that difference in those kind of restrictions. Cognitively, like, and where I really noticed it most recently is reading out loud to my son. I'm a good reader. Like, I read well. I'm well read and read a lot. I was struggling. Like, I could see the words, but it's just like my brain wasn't. I could see the words. I could read the words, but it wasn't coming out of my mouth like I needed it to. And I started really struggling at work, like going, oh my gosh, why can't I think through this? So those are all the things that was going on. So in my tiredness and whatnot, I had backslid as far as my eating for myself. So gluten and dairy had found their way back in. I really wasn't moving at all because I did not have the energy. So I'm going to say about February of this year, and it's September now, and my explant date is September 9th. About February this year, ended up at the emergency room again. The emergency room because my thyroid went crazy. And when I say went crazy, like when I got to the emergency room, what took me to the emergency room is I was laying down trying to go to sleep, and I just felt off. And again, I felt like I was going to die if I went to sleep, but I've had that feeling before. So I was just like, it's okay, Casey, just relax, just get through it, go to sleep. And then there was just this nudge. I was like, nope, you need to go. So I went to the emergency room. And when I got to the emergency room, basically they told me I was heading into a thyroid storm. And that, because if you're not getting the medicine you need and stuff, you can end up in a coma. So basically, spent the whole night in the ER trying to get my thyroid levels situated. Now, I've had thyroid problems since I was 12. So thyroid problems are not new to me, but this is the first time, that was the first time that ever happened to me. And when I left the emergency room, I went, okay, something has got to change. So I really got back on hardcore on all of my no gluten, no dairy. I was working on just adding celery juice back in. I was trying to go for a little walk every day, even if it was up to the mailbox and back, just some movement. So I started doing that. And then I entered a 5K. I signed up for a 5K that was about 2 months away when I signed up for it. Don't get me wrong, I had no intentions on running the 5K. It's just something I used to do. I used to do 5Ks and thought, okay, this is what I'm going to work towards. This is going to be my goal. And so I just kept doing those things. I was just doing really well with my eating. I was walking a little bit. I was working on grounding, spending time outside barefooted, just any and everything. If you know me, you would know that I'm like a dog with a bone with those things. I'm not somebody that can go half in. So once I've decided to do something like that, I just go all in. So I was just doing all the things for a couple of months. So the 5K came and I did it. And while I was doing it, I walked so slow and was so tired. But I trudged through that 5K. And while I was trudging through that 5K, I remembered how much I loved working out and how much I loved doing races and things like that. And that is who I truly am, right? That I'm somebody that likes to be in the gym, that likes to work out, that likes to be active. I always thought moving my body like that, I just thought, man, I just love to push my body. I just love to. I love the feeling of that, being like, yes, I did that. Trudged through the 5K, ended up back in the emergency room after the 5K. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't. Like, I tried to rest and lay down after the 5K, and I just was in full panic attack, chest pain mode. Went to the ER again. And basically that time I think it was just anxiety. But that next day I was just in a really dark place and really just went into a couple of days of prayer and was like, God, what? I don't understand. I'm doing all the things. I don't understand what's wrong. I don't know what else to do. And felt really hopeless. And what occurred to me then was, or what came to me then from the Holy Spirit was I needed to join a breast implant illness support group. And I thought, that's kind of what came to me. And I thought, okay, I can do that. I can lurk around and, that was my full intentions, to get on there and lurk, see what everybody's talking about, which I did. Within 3 days, I was speaking to a breast implant illness advocate who had me bawling. I was beside myself in tears, in a good way, because it's the first time I ever felt heard. We talked, and everything I talked about with all the symptoms and all the things, it just, for once, I felt like, oh my gosh, somebody hears me and somebody understands that this is really happening to me. I'm not crazy. Like, there's things happening in my body, even though no tests or anything show up anything. So I didn't really have, to be honest, I didn't really have the finances to go ahead and go through with the explant. And I just prayed about it and just kept praying about it. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I scheduled a consultation because I thought, we're just going to keep moving forward, right? This was divinely sent to me. I'm just going to keep moving forward. So I had my consultation and I just went, you know what? I'm going to apply for financing and see what happens. I didn't think I was going to get approved. I got approved. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. I guess this is what's happening. So that is how I got to the place of having the implants removed, and how it just kind of divinely lined up. And that's what I keep telling myself about this surgery, like that this is a divine assignment or divine alignment, if you will, right? Of the surgery was meant to be. I am completely envisioning and manifesting that once these implants are gone, that this was the missing piece to why I've been feeling bad. And then I think about how much better I'm going to feel, how much lighter I'm going to feel, how much freer I'm going to feel, and how I had the implants put in because I didn't feel confident or anything with myself for a very long time, and how that I want this surgery to not just be a breast implant removal, but a back to my authentic self, like a second chance, an alignment with who I really am, and that's what I'm focusing on. But yeah, so with a week till surgery, just wanted to share how I got here. Talk soon.